Hello and welcome to my playthrough of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Today we're going to start actually on sequence one. It is day 18 of our marathon playthrough leading into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And like I said, today we are going to be starting Assassin's Creed
I
Brotherhood.
don't think anyone ever expects to wake up one morning and find themselves caught in the middle of a war between two secret organizations. I know I didn't. But here I am. On one side are the Templars, better known these days as Abstergo Industries. They're in the business of control. Politics, economics, technology. They won't stop until every single one of us serves them. Literally. Fighting against them are the Assassins, a group dedicated to safeguarding humanity's free will. I was born into the Brotherhood. A couple of weeks ago, the Templars found me. They took me prisoner, strapped me into a machine they built and put me to work. It's called an Animus. And it's where I spent most of my time. Exploring the memories of my ancestors, discovering entire lives locked deep inside my DNA. First, I revisited the life of Altair ibn La'ahad, an assassin from the Crusades. The Templars wanted the location of something known as a Piece of Eden, an ancient artifact capable of bending people to their will. Once the Templars had what they were looking for, they decided my usefulness had come to an end. But Lucy saved me. Lucy. When things were at their worst, she revealed herself to be an assassin and helped me escape. I was hoping that would be the end of my misadventures, but we were just getting started. Back into another Animus I went. Now, I'm reliving the memories of Ezio Auditore da Firenze, my ancestor from the Renaissance, searching for a path forward. Through the bleeding effect, I'm becoming an assassin in more than just name. It will come in handy as the Templars prepare to enslave us all. They found us. They've crashed our hideout and we're fleeing the scene looking for a place to hide. Only there isn't any and time is running short. My name is Desmond Miles, and this is my story.
And that's essentially where we pick up. Um, Once we get a little downtime in the story, I will explain more on where we are, both as Desmond and as our historical ancestor.
How did you find me?
Mario Auditore, let me hear.
QTEs for the win!
Rebecca, what's going on?
I have to run some diagnostics. I'll get back to you.
I did see that. Thought I saw some Isu back there. Can I move? No.
It is done. The message is delivered. We are gone now from this world. All of us. We can do no more. The rest is up to you, Desmond.
What? Who is Desmond? I don't understand. Please, wait. I have so many questions.
So, since we're starting directly as Ezio, let's explain how we got to where we are. We just saw Minerva, who was the person that Ezio here was talking to. Borgia is gone. So, I don't know if we can see it, but Ezio has what's called a piece of Eden, one of the apples.
Better in the hands of the earth than in the hands of man.
Uncle.
What can I say? We sent a single man against an entire army. I was worried. Quick, climb up. We have to get out of here.
We came here to kill Rodrigo Borgia, who is Pope Alexander VI. Ezio essentially let him live, and he put the papal staff and the Apple of Eden together, and we met Minerva. Minerva would essentially mark Ezio's apple, and it seemed to me anyway that, and I can't find this confirmed, but that Minerva marked that apple so Desmond could use it for...
You would not believe the things I have seen, Mario.
Then be sure to stay alive that I might hear of them.
I expect opposition.
And I expect the Borgia to mourn the loss of many lives tonight.
She marked it because Desmond needs it to prevent a catastrophe that inflicted her people. She knew this point and wanted to mark it.
Assassini! God will see you pay for your crimes! You have desecrated the sanctity of this holy place!
You condemn what you do not understand.
We must go, Ezio, now!
Che canaille! This is the voice of the devil! Turn away from them!
She warns about a catastrophe, which was a corneal mass ejection, or large, very large solar flare
to hurt you?
Barely. My armor blunted his
that
attack.
destroyed her civilization. We'll discuss that a little bit more in depth. Not much more in depth, but we'll discuss it a little bit when we talk about the lore that Assassin's Creed 2 opened up.
Be ready to fight.
What are you doing?
Saving you from the look.
Not bad for an old man.
A lot of what Minerva talked about was brought up within the lore.
Excellent! Good one! Impressive!
So her people were essentially at war with the humans, and that war stopped them from noticing the sun was about to emit a solar flare, and when they did notice, they tried some things to fix it, which we will also discuss later. And they didn't make it in time, so it destroyed both Isu civilization and the humans. And after telling Desmond this, she tells him to search for the items and the procedures that they put in place to try to save their civilization, in hopes that he will be able to save his.
Don't lose him again!
Fight. Okay. That papal staff right there, it is first recorded at, it's the only last time we see it, so I'm going to talk about it now. It was first recorded to being in the possession of St. Peter, as he established himself as the first pope. Eventually, Rodrigo Borgia would get it. Seemingly, was the staff that every pope ran from St. Peter to Rodrigo until it sank into the floor. And it was needed to open the Vatican vault with Ezio's apple, which we're going to see here.
This decision is yours
It's just
alone to
popped.
make. Only do so quickly. Give it to me. You can do with it as you will later.
Bene.
Jump!
See the Colosseum back there? So, this is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It was first released in November, I believe, of 2010. 1 year after Assassin's Creed 2. As you can see, based on yesterday's recording, it picks up immediately after the events of Assassin's Creed 2. Graphics are much better than 2. Also, they got a little bit of an upgrade because I am playing on the graphically enhanced Ezio collection on my Xbox One.
And then Minerva talked about the sun. She told of a disaster that occurred long ago, and another that is coming.
Sometime far in the future, Vero. Then we need not worry about it.
See. Perhaps our work is finished.
Would that be so bad?
Aspetta.
We upgraded the arsenal while you were away.
Ah, and it is not customary for you to fire cannonballs at visitors.
My apologies. We only installed them a few days ago. My men are still being trained in their
Which is
use.
weird, because playing through this marathon, they were the other assassins were meant to cause trouble in Rome so Ezio could get into the Vatican. So it's odd to me that he knows. Well, it shouldn't be, it's his home, so he should know the schedule for adding stuff like that. One thing I love about this game is it allows us to take horses into cities now.
Welcome back, Ezio. Ezio! Look, it's Ezio! Let me see!
Buongiorno. It's good to be home.
Two of them.
This place just keeps getting better.
Thanks to you.
Brother!
Claudia. It is good to be home. How is mother?
She's fine. I heard you were returning, but I'm glad to see it with my own eyes. The Contessa of Forli is here to welcome you. I had no idea you were so famous.
Caterina? Here?
Is it finished then? Is the Spaniard truly dead?
Gather the others.
Faces are smoother and they're less blocky.
I'll explain everything there.
Steel yourself, Ezio. They will have many questions.
Claudia, tell the Contessa I look forward to seeing her this evening.
Such a womanizer. Alright, let's do these 3 side missions. Let's talk a little bit about Desmond. Actually, I want to see before we get into
The men in this
Desmond.
town are no better than little girls.
We're gonna see him be a little
Need
bit
some
more
more.
of a ladies' man.
Salve.
So many flowers. Your husband must be very lucky.
I am the lucky one. I have you here to aid me.
Let me see what I can do.
Back there, I may have given you the wrong impression.
Oh?
I have no husband. The flowers are for a party.
Am I invited?
To Claudia Auditori's birthday party in the villa. If you are willing to help me again, I need someone with class to accompany me.
What makes you think I have class?
I could tell the moment I saw you. No one in this town walks with such bearing. I'm certain Ezio Auditori himself would be impressed.
Oh? What do you know of Ezio?
Claudia thinks the world of him, but he rarely visits her. From what I gather, he's distant.
She is right. I have been.
Oh no. You? The party was intended to be a surprise. Promise you will not tell Claudia.
What will you do to keep me quiet?
I am sure I can think of several things.
I'll be waiting to hear them when we get there.
Not only does he plan on having a relationship that night with Katerina, he's trying to hook up with this lady too, knowing Katerina's going to be around.
Now about earning my silence.
I have something in mind. There is one condition.
Anything.
You must wait until tomorrow.
If it pleases you, I will not stand in your way.
It will be worth the wait, Ezio. Trust me.
So, Assassin's Creed 2, it ended, of course, with what happened with Minerva. But Desmond, his group of assassins, ended up having to go on the run again. They were found by Warren Vidic. Not only did they find them, but he crashed their safe house. And at this point, we don't know a ton about Desmond. All we really know is that he was a bartender in New York.
Buongiorno.
Ezio, Mario is going to murder me. I have lost his favorite horse.
Do not despair. I will bring it back.
God bless you, Ezio.
So he was a bartender in New York City, when they found him, when Abstergo found him. And they found him because he had a motorcycle license. At the age of 16, he ran away from his parents' compound, which was called the Farm, and it was a place where assassins trained. After he was picked up by Abstergo, he was forced into an animus
I can no longer keep up with the horses.
to relive the life
Promise
of
me
his
you will
ancestor.
enjoy your good health. Do not spend as much time in battle as your Uncle Mario.
My battles have already been won.
That is good news. Arrivederci, Ezio.
So this ancestor was Altair ibn Ahad. He lived in the Holy Land during the Third Crusade. And they used him... I have to climb. And the reason why they used Altair was because he was shown a map by a piece of Eden, by an apple. This would go on to be discerned as Apple of Eden number 3.
These are the new cannons?
Yes, Signor Ezio.
May I try one?
Yes, but... Go on, tell him. We cannot seem to make them work properly, and the fool who mounted them is nowhere to be found.
Then it is up to me to find him.
We do not want to waste your time.
It is not any trouble. I have all the time in the world now.
After like 28 years of hunting down your family's killers, I would hope so. But anyway, Altair was shown a map by an Apple of Eden to many. I'm not sure if they were all vaults or if they were just locations of pieces of Eden. After seeing this map as Altair, he was broke out of Abstergo by Lucy Stillman.
Salve, Messere. We need you to fix the cannons on the battlements.
Leave me be. I do not begin repairs before noon.
Do you know what time it is?
I make cannons, not clocks.
If you are busy, someone else will fix them.
Uno momento. No one else will touch my cannons. Soldiers have no respect for artillery. They expect a gun to work like magic. You need to feel her out. Give her a little encouragement. We are only equipped with simple cannons now, but I got hold of a design from France, a hand cannon. Something called a wrought iron murderer. Imagine firing a cannon from your hands. That It's the future.
Lucy threw Desmond in the back of a trunk and then took him to a safe house where he would meet Rebecca Crane and Sean. I don't remember Sean's last name.
What have you done?
We used them.
They were not ready for firing. You could have gotten us all killed. Let me see.
His breath is more fatal than our cannons.
Only when you two fools are shooting them. There, try it. Aim at something to test the alarm.
So, once Lucy got him there, he agreed to help them fight Abstergo. And to do that, he needed to use the bleeding effect to relive Ezio's life. Am I not far enough back? There we go. So he could become a quote-unquote better assassin. And it was at this point that he found out Abstergo was a front for the Templar Order, their public face, so to speak. I think that's not bad. Nope. So Rebecca had him enter a new animus and relive the life of Ezio Auditore. And the reason why they picked Ezio Auditore da Firenze was because of the connection to Subject 16 and essentially the long-form planning that Minerva and the others of her kind had.
We will be practicing at dawn.
Too bad it will not do you any good.
Very funny. Now fix the second cannon.
Alright. I'd probably pull his arm out of socket. So let's go see what's up here. And during the cutscene, I will look at the notes I have from the lore, the new lore that we would have learned from Assassin's Creed 2 if we would have went through and done all of the glyphs. Ooh, Caterina.
Buongiorno, Ezio.
Caterina, to what do I owe the pleasure of your presence here?
I desire an allegiance. The papal armies have resumed their march on Forli. Your mercenaries would be a great asset to my cause.
It is likely that I can give you what you seek. But we will talk later. Mother. Machiavelli. It is done. Though not, I think, as any of us expected. I entered the Vaticano and faced Rodrigo. No! Used the power of the papal staff against me, but I defeated him. Finding the staff on the apple, I gained access to the vault. There, a moving painting of the goddess Minerva spoke. She told of a terrible tragedy to befall mankind in the future, but gave hope of lost temples that will provide aid to humanity. And then she called out to a phantom, Desmond, as if he were there, standing beside me. After her warning, she vanished.
Amazing.
I cannot imagine such wonders.
The vault did not house the terrible weapon we feared. This is good news.
What of this goddess, this Minerva? Did she appear human?
Yes, but her words proved otherwise. All of her kind died many years ago. I wish I could show you the magic she performed.
Who is Desmond, and where are these temples Minerva spoke of?
I do not know.
Perhaps we must search for them.
Tell me how it ended with Borgia. Did Rodrigo beg forgiveness? Make excuses? Promise power in return.
No, none of those things.
Interesting. I'm surprised he remained so composed.
I let him leave.
The Spaniard lives! Once our enemies are dead, we can speak of vaults and gods and ancient places. You should have killed him. We're sure to suffer for it.
I am not here to debate the past. Together, we should discuss the future.
No. I am leaving immediately for Roma.
Ezio, I do not know why you spared him, but I trust your judgment. Machiavelli will come around.
So at this point, he got Mario is the mentor of the Italian assassins, and he gave approval, even though Machiavelli, who's like, I would say 21, 22 at this point. He's not too much younger than Ezio, because I think Ezio is like 25. Which is kind of odd for me to think about. See, he's hitting on that girl with the flowers, and then all of a sudden, here comes Katerina in boy shorts and hitting on him. I don't remember if there's QTEs in this or not. I don't think so. I find it funny that well, it's not funny, it's just the way the game is designed, but she's wearing a very modern lingerie set that's meant to look very Renaissance.
Ready to go again?
You don't need to ask.
One should always have the freedom to choose. Shh. What's that?
Probably just training exercises.
Cannonball crashes through your attic. Put some pants on, Ezio. You ain't gonna.
I have to find Mario and rally the troops.
My men are in the courtyard. I aim to lead them around back and flank our attackers.
Stay out of sight.
Here's the siege of Monteriggioni.
It's the Borgia!
How did we not see this?
They must have massed to the east during the night. We need to hold them off until the townspeople have escaped.
I will take care of it.
Use the cannons above the rampart. I intend to lead a frontal assault.
Do you have it?
I am keeping it safe. The Borgia must not be allowed to breach the walls
He's
until
gonna
everyone is
hold
safely
the apple
away.
of Eden
Insieme
and
per la
lead the
vittoria.
frontal assault.
Insieme.
Does not
Uncle,
sound too intelligent.
Be careful.
I will.
So, since we're talking about lore and apples and all that fun stuff, let's take a moment to discuss some of the glyphs that showed up. They they did do a lot of glyphs upon pieces of Eden, most prominently 4 or 5 apples. One of the first ones they mention is apple number 2.
Signora Vigore, thank God! We must put them back until the villagers escape! Load the cannon. Aim for the cannon,
For a fact, this is but if we're not completely focused. Yeah. If you don't take these out essentially 2 at a time, you will lose all city fortifications in this really quick.
Aim careful! We can't stand this attack much longer!
Leaving that single one so you can get up here and get it. Now we get to go to the other side and do it again. Come on, get up. Goodness, I thought it was too high.
Some townspeople still haven't escaped. Keep going. Almost all the townspeople are outside the walls. You have saved
Goodness.
Wait!
I can remember when I first tried that, it took forever to get that one because you have to do it just right.
I will carry on here!
So, let's take care of this, and after we do that, we're going to talk about the first apples that they discussed, which was Apple of Eden number 2. This was the one that was destroyed in the Denver International incident. So we did talk about it a little bit at the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2. So we won't go into how it was destroyed or too much about it, because it turns out it shows up later in the series. But what we find out in 2 is that that apple was also belonging to Queen Elizabeth I in 1559 and Mahatma Gandhi in 1930. The lore around this, these guys. Nope. All right. Ouch. That'll work. So the assassins would kill Queen Mary because she was associated with Templars. And in 1558, which is when they killed Queen Mary, by 1559, Queen Elizabeth I would show up with the apple and keep it in the sovereign's orb of Great Britain.
I know you're there, Ezio! The Pope told me about you and your little group of assassins. And this! Give me the gun his friend fashioned for us. We've had too much bloodshed. I think a cleansing is in order. So consider this an invitation from my family to yours.
It's a pretty decent shot back then right there. Queen Elizabeth I would remain an ally of the assassins, and then after her death in 1603, the apple would be lost until it shows up in the possession of Gandhi.
Walk.
Look out! They are coming! Everyone, retreat to the villa!
I cannot fight like this.
Stand with me!
Gandhi would use the apple to help India gain independence from Great Britain.
I'd like to see you try.
And Templars would have him killed on January 30, 1948 for said apple. So it kind of leads me to think that for some reason the British monarch probably either Victoria or Edward VI, one of those, because Victoria was the first Empress of India. I have to save Claudia. It would seem to me that she would have taken it to India, and that would have been where she'd have lost it, and how Gandhi would have gotten it. Just a thought. None of that's. None of that is confirmed. These guys are running around like chickens with their heads cut off, aren't they? So that, of course, is Apple of Eden 2, which was Altair's apple. They also talk about Apple of Eden 1 being in possession of both Harry Houdini and Napoleon, but we'll discuss those later as Assassin's Creed Unity is set during Napoleon's rise of power.
Where
So
does
we'll
this
talk
passage
about
lead?
it that
To the
there.
north, outside the walls.
I am surprised it exists. Let me through. I must go help the troops.
I don't think he'd have been able to push that up and down with that arm.
Where's Mother? Is she all right?
I am here, Ezio.
Grazie a Dio.
Could not leave without you.
The way out will be dangerous. Protect our mother.
Hello, Amunet. Apple of Eden 3 was also mentioned in a lot. But of course, we'll
Where is
get...
Mario? I thought he would be waiting for us.
The Borgia infantry are circling the town!
Mario is dead. You must leave this place. Take Mother to Firenze.
Get me a horse!
You are not coming with us. Where are you riding?
To Roma.
Go, my son. Destroy them. But remember for whom we assassins fight.
She's brutal now after healing. She heals after Ezio finds 100 feathers for her to mourn Petruchio. And that Well, no. You know what? That is not the end of sequence 1. Because this should pull us out of the Animus and spend some time as Desmond.
Lucy, I can't seem to get a position on Ezio's POE.
POE? Could one of you tell me what's going on?
Sorry, Desmond. Piece of Eden. In the Vatican, Minerva talked about other temples, that they're the key to preventing whatever terrible thing is about to happen to the Earth.
Right.
My hands hurt.
To find the temples, I'm convinced we need to get our hands on Ezio's apple.
Put on a
of
clean
Eden.
top.
Minerva altered it somehow when she touched it.
Wait, we're at the Auditore Villa.
Yes, it's our last safe house in Italy. It turns out the Templars are watching the border.
Ezio hid the POE sometime in 1507, but when I try to access that DNA sequence, he seems to be remembering something else.
Like a memory inside a memory?
Yes, exactly. Maybe.
Exactly, maybe.
I believe you experienced something similar back at Abstergo, didn't you?
Subject 15 exhibited memory within memory-like patterns, but she was pregnant. The memories of both the fetus's father and mother were competing.
Desmond's not pregnant, at least as far as I can tell. Might just have had a big lunch.
Can you skip ahead to a later memory?
No, it doesn't work.
Well, that sounds familiar. We couldn't access Altair's later memories until Desmond had improved his synchronization.
Then it's possible something similar's occurred here. Ezio's troubled state is being transposed onto Desmond, destabilizing the memory. Either that, or Rebecca's just not a very good engineer.
Thanks, asshole.
What? I'm simply listing possible explanations. And that is amongst the most likely. Touchy?
This place isn't secure. Cell phone surveillance can see right through the walls.
Don't you mean satellite surveillance?
Are you kidding? Abstergo upgraded his cell towers ages ago. The waves go through everything above ground. They're gonna find us.
No, they aren't. Come with me. There's a beam blocking it from the inside. We're not getting in this way.
What's our next move?
The road just loops back into the highway. This is not a good place for us to be right now.
Do we have any tarps? We need to cover up the van.
I really hate to stress this, yeah, but we are running out of time.
Well, help us then, Sean. Do you have any ideas?
I don't know. Maybe there's another way into the sanctuary.
Hey, I think I've got something.
All right.
Follow me.
Doesn't even think, just goes.
Desmond, that was pretty awesome.
It just felt natural. We can get in through here.
Good job.
We'll just wait up here then, shall we? Yeah, all alone with massive targets painted on our backs.
So as we travel through here,
Why won't this turn on?
It's great to be out of the Animus.
This isn't exactly my idea of a good time.
Let me guess. You're more the in-bed-at 6 type.
What? Desmond. I know how to have fun.
Oh, that's very convincing. Yeah, I'm convinced.
So maybe being a bartender,
Okay,
I bet.
okay, after we save the world, I'll show you.
Wait, can I get that in writing?
We have light.
All right. So
what was that?
I don't see anything.
Run! Get out before I soldati catch you! Correte! Go!
They escaped through here.
What?
Ezio and the villagers. After the attack, I can see them now.
I know it's difficult, but try to compartmentalize, Desmond. Focus on the present.
What if I can't stop the visions? How long before I start painting symbols on the walls?
Don't joke about that. 16 is dead. We're focusing on the present, okay?
So, Apple of Eden 3 is actually considered the president's apple.
Great, it's stuck.
I can get under there.
Ready.
The reason why it's considered the
Any
president's
chance you can
apple
lift that gate?
Not unless you want me to end up like that skeleton.
I'll find a way around.
is because it seems that it was held by most U.S. presidents, starting with George Washington all the way through Franklin Roosevelt.
Drop into the corridor below, through here.
Watch out for bats.
Where?
I meant in case you see any.
Remind me not to make you a lookout.
But as George Washington is a side character
Desmond?
More ghosts.
in Assassin's Creed
I'm here,
3,
okay? Stay
we'll
with
wait to talk about that apple there. But speaking of Apple of Eden 3 and some oh, there it is.
Did anything fall on you?
No. Is Mother all right?
Desmond, we can't climb this.
How about you give me a boost?
That's a bad idea.
I could throw you into the air and you grab the ledge.
Even worse.
Follow me.
Kennedy's assassination was also brought up within the glyphs.
How about this?
What are you going to... Nice job.
I aim to please.
Kennedy.
Wonder how old these tunnels are.
Middle Ages, probably. Luckily, the beams still hold our weight.
After all this time in the Animus, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but you're really getting fat.
Ouch.
I even told Rebecca to widen the Animus.
Seriously?
No.
So,
up we go.
Ready.
Kennedy wasn't a Templar. To what I can find so far, he wasn't an assassin either.
You know, when I came here last...
When Ezio came here.
Yeah, I meant Ezio.
Shouldn't put you through all this. It's not right.
Hey, all joking aside, I'm having the time of my life. It's thanks to you.
Just focus on where you're going, okay?
They're talking so much, I don't want to interrupt them to talk about piece of the Kennedy assassination.
When did this become my job?
If I pulled all the levers, then what would be left for you?
Nothing.
Nice try.
Ready?
Found a switch!
That one actually works like it's supposed to.
Something's open.
So Kennedy wanted to use the Apollo space project as a joint mission
Over here, but I can see a lever across the water.
Great.
with
Let's see who
the
gets a bath
US
at Katarina
and
Sports and I get to swim in a toilet.
He's complaining that Ezio had got a bath with Katarina Sports and he gets to swim in the sewers.
I've got this one.
There's another lever up ahead. Come over here.
I get to swim. Do that all the time.
Oh man, it's freezing.
Stop whining.
It's easy for you to say. You aren't swimming in medieval toxic waste. Ugh.
So, the Templars didn't like the idea
You're exaggerating.
of a joint mission to the moon, so they had him assassinated by
This is the time of your
Lee
life.
Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
But before doing that, they trained William Greer, who would be the driver of his limousine, with Apple of Eden 2, so they could handle Apple of Eden 3, which was the president's
Okay,
apple.
release it.
And then,
How come you don't have to get
so they
ready?
trained him using
Because you're
Apple
here.
II. This was the one that
Aren't I?
Gandhi had. And then they trained them with, they used Apple of Eden 1, which, no, Apple of Eden 2 was Altair's apple.
I've got you.
And then Apple of Eden 1 was the one that Gandhi had. And they used that apple to create the Phantom Gunman on the grassy knoll. It's a mess with those three apples at that point in time. At least in my head, it's a mess. But anyway, let's talk a minute about the Apollo program. Well, that's part of this whole thing. It was meant to actually retrieve piece of Eden.
We can't
apple
jump this.
number 5.
I have an idea. You'll have to help me. Stand at the edge and get ready.
Ready.
And by that I mean the apple was on the moon.
Made it! Let me see.
But it was placed there
You go on ahead.
by the
I'll just
Isu
stay here to die
because
in
that
the
was
dark
one
with
of
the
their
bats.
methods of trying to protect their civilization from the Great Catastrophe.
Nice work.
The bats will be disappointed.
After it was retrieved from the moon, however, we have no idea where it ended up.
Sultan, I have found an entrance.
No, we go through
You'd think these stairs would lead somewhere.
But they don't.
No, there's a door there.
Life is full of disappointments.
Alright. So, we're going to actually leave... No, we're not. We're going to talk a little bit more about the war. That's not right. Up and over at Ezio. Up and over Desmond. Let's see what we got.
I'll wait here.
Good. Let me just go and get that bridge down for you.
I did the last one.
And I'm sure that will be your last one.
Haha, very funny.
They've only known each other a few weeks, but they have a very interesting rapport and friendship, don't they?
Got it.
Another item that was
Thank you, Desmond.
brought up in the glyphs was Piece of Eden number 25, which was one of the Swords of Eden, which is prominent in Assassin's Creed Unity, so we'll talk about it more then. They also bring up Piece of Eden number 66, which is a
Now
shroud,
it's my turn to even the score.
but there are 2 shrouds in canon. One of which we'll talk about during Syndicate.
It's a
So
start.
I thought that since the Shroud 60, this shroud was unsure of which one it was, we'd talk about the other one here. The other one is the Golden Fleece from the Jason and the Argonauts myth, the Greek myth. And I think there might be down, dude. I told you to drop. There's a chance with Jason and the Argonauts being a Greek myth that we could see this item or something else to do with the myth within Assassin's Creed Odyssey, taking place during the Peloponnesian War. So that's kind of why I want to talk about it here. It was common that the shroud was commonly used to heal wounds and to bring people back from the dead after, if they're like, I don't want to say dead, but like if they were able to be resuscitated from, what's the best way? Like, if I were to die right now, I have such a chance to be resuscitated,
Thanks. We make a good
but
team.
to a certain point I wouldn't be. and that shroud would be able to do the resuscitation without too much trouble. The problem is the shroud could also cause hallucinations, and after being used by assassins and Templars over the ages to heal themselves, it would end up being destroyed in 2014 in a Parisian lab by the Assassin
I can see
Brotherhood.
the sanctuary.
Oh yeah, okay. Because that's Altair's butt. And that's where we're going to stop talking about the lore from the rifts. There are tons more, and we will actually get to that in our next sequence.
Wow. He looks so old. Ezio must have come back here way after the attack. But why?
Desmond!
Right. Let's open that door.
The bleeding effect is really messing with his head.
There's something here.
Oh, that one's
Can you open the damn bookcase, Desmond?
You guys did it.
About bloody time. What's that?
Looks like something Ezio left behind. There are numbers underneath it. 1490, 1420, and 1421.
Maybe you should lie down for a bit.
No, it's all right. I'm fine.
Whoa, they really built this place to last. No signs of structural damage, no cell signal either. Should be safe to set up. Let's get the Animus down there.
Let's get the Animus down there. Pyramid.
Okay, everything's good here. Sean, hide the van in town, and make sure you aren't followed.
What is that smell?
It's my clothes.
They smell like you swam through a sewer.
It was Lucy's idea.
Wait a second, guys. We need power down here. There's a line running nearby I can hook into, but the wattage is weak.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Anything else you two would like? You know, some caviar perhaps? Maybe you'd like me to knit you a lovely hat? No? Fine, follow me.
I love Sean. He just is hilarious to me. We're going to finish the modern day segments here, and then that will be the end of today's day when we climb back into the Animus and go back to Ezio's life.
Right, look around Monteriggioni for circuit boxes. Rebecca's little doodahs, they'll reroute small amounts of electricity to the power line underneath the villa. Don't ask me how they work. If I understood that, I wouldn't be the fella hiding the van.
He is right about that. He wouldn't be the fella hiding the van. So, 3 more rerouters. It's just interesting to me to see this and Desmond running around here. And then when you get down into the town, and you see motorcycles and electricity boxes. It's weird. There are tons of boxes around. You just have to find them. Follow the power. There it is. Packages. In case y'all wanted to know. There's another one. Oh, not close enough. Get my remote here. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that's better. Much better.
I'm back.
Just in time. The sun's rising.
Yes, it's booted. We're good to go.
Did you miss me? No? Anyone? Hello? Am I speaking out loud? Hello?
Workaholics.
Let's get started.
Yeah, that's funny. Alright, so before we hop in the Animus, we're going to see if anybody's got any conversations.
Do you have any clue about those numbers under the drawing?
1419, 1420, 1421. Maybe something to do with the 100 Years' War. Or wait, in 1419, Pope Martin V arrived in Florence, right? He left for Rome in 1420, and that was the same year Brunelleschi began building the Duomo. And in 1421... Yeah, I'll have to do some more research, I think.
Photo of Cesare, it looks like a photo of Lucrezia and some other things to do with Rome.
What are we gonna do about Abstergo?
Wait it out. As soon as we find the apple, I get in contact with our other teams in Europe, but as far as Italy goes, we're on our own.
It'd be nice to have some help from above.
Our top assassins are busy gathering info about the Templar satellite launch. We've pinpointed several possible facilities in the US, China, and Russia, but there are no clear leads yet.
What are the other teams doing?
Combating Abstergo's search for pieces of Eden. As far as I know, Abstergo has no clue about the temples and Ezio's apple. We might actually be ahead for once.
Well, that would be nice. That would be very nice.
We'll talk later. Now get in there and find the apple. We're counting on you.
So, what do you think of Monteriggioni?
This is not Monteriggioni. Monteriggioni existed in the Renaissance. Ask me how the town was in 1554 when it was seized by Florence, and I'll tell you.
Huh. I figured you'd like it nowadays. Seems not to have changed much.
Exactly. History is the study of change. Change is life. When things become static, it means they're dead.
Got a great point.
My work requires attention, Desmond.
Alright, let's talk to... not this side. We gotta get over here and talk to Rebecca.
You seem focused.
I've been busy patching new systems into Baby here. She's only gonna get better.
Is Desmond gonna be able to relive memories this time?
As a matter of fact, he will.
Always a tech geek?
Nah, I was into sports, but then I broke my leg and started playing with computers. Who knew that coding could be just as exhilarating as strapping on a board and dropping out of a helicopter?
Just FYI, you might want to get your adrenal glands checked. You know? Because that is not normal.
That is not normal.
Focusing on this.
Alright, so that's Kwai Li, I think. Darius. They strapped a light to the spear. That's funny. Amunet, also known as Aya. Don't remember her name. And Leonis, the murderer of Caligula. No, can't do that yet. There's a little thing there that's fun for me, where he goes, "What's the matter, you out there?" Alright, let's hop back into the Animus and call this the end of Sequence 1. Feels rather short. I don't know what the timestamp is on it, but get in there, dude. But it feels rather short to me. I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. Alright, there's the save point. I hope to see you guys next time for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood Sequence 2. Have a great night.
As you may have noticed in the van, I've made some improvements to the Animus, and I've also patched in a new VR training program. Here you can show off all those flashy moves you picked up from your ancestors. Let me open one of the missions.
So, let's do this first, shall we? Because we're not back to Ezio yet. So let's do this thing. Dang. Dang it. Come on. There we go. Now grab me. Much more brutal this time, isn't it?
You can access more VR missions through the Animus desktop.
Oh,
as you complete training sessions, I'll add additional challenges. To stop your subconscious from rejecting Ezio's later memories, you're gonna have to live them in the order his genome recorded them. Highlight Sequence 2 for me, Desmond. Good,
No.
now select it and you're gonna see the memories inside.
We're not doing
Once
this?
you've unlocked a memory, by accessing this menu, you can relive it as many times as you want.
But what if there are memories I just want to forget?
Desmond, this is very important. If you need to take a break, log out of the Animus. You can leave the machine whenever you like.
I'm all set to go. Don't worry.
One last thing. As you raise your synchronization by executing events the way Ezio lived them, you might even discover some repressed memories. Okay, let's get started. Select the first memory.
No. We're actually gonna stop here. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Desmond, I've been looking at those gibberish 5-digit codes from the end of Subject 16's
No,
files,
shut
and
up.
I seem to have discovered a remarkable coincidence. The codes correspond perfectly with coordinates inside the Animus. I've tagged the landmarks, pinpointed by the coordinates with eye icons in the database. Now, odds are you won't find anything there, but, well, who knows?
Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you tomorrow at a set and 2. Have a great night.